Hi, Chris here at TT120. Now we're going to do a little bit something different today when it comes to reviewing a set. As you may have noticed, we've got the set. Now, a lot of the reason why we're not doing I'm not going to do a full review of the set is because there's not a great deal of mechanical difference in the track and all the power stuff as there is with the digital versions that have already come out. And the actual loco itself isn't set specific. It's the actual train pack is available and has been available for quite a while now, and the two second class coaches are also currently available and have been available for quite a while now. So not a lot of point doing reviewing them. So what's this video all about? Well, really, it's because it seems like this set has really attracted another wave of new people to our scale and also to HM7000. So I thought I'll try and do a bit of a warts and all kind of help, hopefully, to some of those new people. Now, I am not some sort of TT120 guru. I am not the font of all knowledge. Pretty much everything I have learnt myself, but a lot of it other people have already been discussing on the various forums. I would suggest a very good forum is the TT120 forum specific area on the Hornby forum. The forum on what's it called, Jim? The BRM one. There'll be a link here somewhere. All right. Okay. So that forum initially had a lot of people having a crack at TT120. There's now a lot more people on it who are a bit more on board. It invariably has a lot more detailed stuff for the fine scaler. But the Hornby one is an excellent place to be and to get questions answered. There's a lot of really good, helpful people on there who want to help you join in, not just take the mickey out of you because of what seems to them to be a basic question. It's not like that. It really isn't. It's quite refreshing. Now, some of the things we're going to talk about are going to be, to my normal subscribers, they're going to be, oh, yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks for telling us how to do that. Like I don't already know how to do it. But that's not what this is about. This is about, hopefully, that first person who's opened one of these boxes up and has been out of the hobby for 20, 30 years or has never really been involved in the hobby or was just fancied an idea of it. There might be some things on there that are of help. So that's why we've done the video. Another good place for you guys to go to is something called the TT120 Hub. Ta-da! There it is. This is something that a chap called Greg McDonald, who I collaborate occasionally with on YouTube, who's done an immense amount of work. But it's also been a community effort. There's a lot of people who have been involved in sending him links and getting that information. So there's a place, it's a real go-to place for everything else that's outside of the hobby. Well, not outside of the hobby, sort of outside of what Hornby sell you as a package on the shelf. All right. Now, one thing after reviewing my video that I realised I hadn't done is I need to make something very specific to people who are first programming on HM7000. You program your loco on 3, and as soon as you finish and you've got your program all done, change that assigned number to whatever number you want it to be. I think there's 9,999 slots, so you can call it 125 or you can call it whatever you like. You can call it the running number of the actual loco. Before you then program another loco, because let's face it, if you're getting a TT120, you're going to buy more than one loco. And if you bought this set, you've got 2 decoders that you need to program. So you need to program on 3. And then once you've done that, go to program the next loco or the next decoder on 3 again, because you've assigned the other one a new number. All right. This is very important. Another very important thing, which maybe I may not have quite highlighted as much in my video, is do them one at a time. Don't put both locos on and try and do it all at the same time. It opens up glitches and problems and you'll be there for even longer. Okay. We touched on a few hints and tips about couplings and about replacements of couplings with other manufacturers, particularly the Hunt magnetic couplings, which are a really easy fix for this kind of loco, because there's no shunting involved. And we've also we have a briefly touch on power banks and the new Hornby power bank, which is actually really a perfect fix for the Class 43. Okay. At the end of the video, I'll also we'll quickly go through some of the other rolling stock that goes with this set. So this is a two car and two carriage set, and one of these in real life would have been an 8 car. Okay, I think they've got up to 9 eventually, but this one was an 8 car. So we'll talk about the other carriage, not 8 car carriage. We'll talk about the other carriages at the end of the video. So hopefully you'll find this informative. We'll do a little bit of setting the track out, and then we have a little conversation about couplings, and then we have a little conversation about, and then we do a little bit of I've screen recorded me programming a decoder, and I tried to force one of the faults, which is like the CVs not being out of sync. There are other things that come up. I did manage to make them happen for me this time. Other help, yeah, George at Hornby. If you actually call customer services and speak to George, their HM7000 guy, he's fantastic help, really is. All right, if you haven't found the answers on the forum or on some of the Facebook groups as well. That reminds you, those forums and the Facebook groups and all that kind of stuff is all linked in the 120 hub, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, and that will be in the link in the description below, yada yada, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we have a tiny bit of running session at the end, just to listen to the fantastic sound and the brakes squealing and it doing all that malarkey, which is the whole point of having DCC, really. Enjoy. See you at the end. Okay, so let's not break tradition. We should do the review of the box. A nice handsome picture of this gorgeous loco. This is the HM7000 TX triple sound set. You can get a DC only set. As you see there, it says experience a wealth of features, including high definition sound and app-based control via Bluetooth. Now, the HM7000 Bluetooth system we will look at a little bit further on in the video, but don't be put off by that. You don't have to use HM7000, although I would highly recommend it. These can also be used in traditional DCC, digital control, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on when we're doing the programming. Okay, so quick look at the back. Nice images of the full-size loco. Gives you a good idea of what you're buying inside the box. Various components, we'll go through them later on in the video. It shows you the various track add-on sets that you can get. This one starts with Basic Overall Plus Track Pack 1. There's shows you the overall dimensions of the full track mat, which used to be something they used to give away with these sets, but they no longer do. You have to print them off. I think they do that because nobody really bothers with them anymore, I don't think, although one or two people do, obviously. Interesting strap line. It says Hornby TT120 is available to be purchased directly online only, which is a bit odd because you can go down to Margate to their visitor centre and buy them, and obviously you can buy them at all the various shops. I think that's something's left over from when this was first released, when you couldn't buy them in shops, but that's ancient history, thankfully. There's a little set of getting started instructions at the top there, or most of which are pretty basic and simple. I do like the second from last, the open the HMDCC app and follow the simple 3-stage setup guide. That did make me chuckle. If you're new to this, it may well actually have made you cry, but again, we'll look at that a little bit further on. Little end of box detail, giving you the code TT1004TXSM. It shows you there that it's a 15-volt system. If you're coming to this from a DC pack and you want to go up to DCC fitted or HM7000 fitted, you will need to get a 15-volt power pack at least. The Hornby ones are the ones that are recommended. They're perfectly fine and they're a good good price point. Me personally, I've used an 18-volt one from DCC Concepts, which I've absolutely had no issues with. It's a super smooth, very good power pack, and these decoders seem to have absolutely zero issues with coping with that kind of voltage. And this is the other end, just to reiterate that this is a base oval plus the product code TT8030 track extension pack 1. So if you are going to extend it as per their sort of plans, then you don't have to worry about buying that one. Okay? Now then, let's crack this open, shall we? Bear with me a moment while I just get the end tab out, and we shall try and slide this off. Trying to keep it in camera as we do. Come on, Peachy. Here we go. Doesn't want to get out. He's camera shy. Right, let's push that out. Try not to damage the box, because I do rather like it. Pop that out of the way. Let's see what we got. Oh, now this is interesting. So, unlike the previous sets, these come in, there's two sets of packs, so you can actually have the locos in one box, which is kind of helpful for storage. I'll probably recycle the piece that holds the track. These boxes, the big boxes, are actually worth hanging on to because they fit. They're a perfect storage solution for the coach boxes and so on and so forth. Now it comes with a little set of instructions about the HST, and that little red thing there, very useful piece of kit. Again, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's get on with building it. Here's the power pack first of all, the 15-volt power pack. There's the little plug-in extension lead, little 2-prong. It shows which is plus and minus on that 2-prong, and that will go into. You can see that straight with a little block on it. Little buffer, they're always handy. A point, a radius 4 to help match the point parallel. Pack of the radius 3s and a pack of the straights plus that power block. Actually, let's have before we speed things up, let's have a little chat about some of this track, because I have to remind myself this is not for the experienced. This is a video for new people coming to it. Now, it's a tried and tested system with fish plates, opposing ones. They have a little flat area, so they're easy to locate. You have to double check that you actually have them lined up, so you don't have a little step. Otherwise, you will have problems with derailment. They're an easy enough system to put together, and let's move this on a little bit, shall we? Although possibly worth pointing out that you'll notice I am going to have the point and the siding going inside the loop. This is not as per the track plan, but then, they're only guidelines. And the reason why I'm doing this is just so that I can fit the whole thing in the screen. Right, let's speed it up. Next thing to talk about is the curves. Now, this has been covered over the years because when it first came out, people complained that the geometry wasn't correct, but that's not true. The geometry is correct. They just they seem to have a bit of tension in the track when it comes in out of the machine. So if you give them, and you'll find that if you just lay them down, they'll be slightly on a sort of curve or a bend. If you do what I'm doing here, which is just basically flake them around, take the tension out of them, and then check them on your flat surface, you can get these things to lay dead flat. And once you've got them lying dead flat and not rocking around, not twisted, then they make a perfect 360 or two sets of 180. Right, very quick little zoom in, talk about the buffer stops. These have a little bit that sticks down that has to go in between the sleepers, and then you have a little clips either side which clip onto the rail, and then you have a couple of tongues either end which go in between the rails. And once you've got them in the correct place, they're really quite a valuable little asset to the layout. Okay, so final piece of the setup
and that is just to plug in your power supply. You'll see there's a positive and negative on both sides of the actual block and the thing that plugs into it. Enough waffle, let's get that train pack out. And here they are. It's a gorgeous little model, and I'm not going to do a full review on this because I've already done one. Here's the thumbnail. There'll be a link in description below. Check that out. We go into a little bit more detail about them, but we'll have a little quick peruse because they really are rather gorgeous. It's I know people say, oh, what's the point when you've got N gauge, but you know, TT120, it is different. Having that scale, having that weight, I think, and that level of detail, almost the level of 00. In fact, better than a lot of the old 00. Yeah, it's a winner for me. But you've probably already worked that out. Right, should we have a quick little look at the instructions that come with it? So there's a nice little bit of a pamphlet here, a little bit of information about lubricating. Be careful not to over lubricate though, guys. They also come with a little detailing pack, which is the couplers. Now, some of you new to the hobby might think, well, why have I got these? Do I need to fit these? No, you don't need to fit these. These are there so that you can have your model on display. Yes, it is a thing. People do buy these and have them on display. You just pull out the socket at the back and then plug that in there. That's on the accessories thing. Right, so there we go. Now I'm pointing at it. There's a speaker fitting showing you here. Don't worry if you've got the DCC fitted kit set. This is already in place. This is really just to help you if you are upgrading from the basic DC. There's a whole bunch of really quite helpful tips here as well. There's a little mention there about consisting where you have two locos working together. That is possible through regular DCC and through HM7000 via the dongle and a DCC unit. It's not possible in Bluetooth alone. That's something that Hornby are working on. Look forward to seeing what they come up with in the future. Here's a little instructions about how to remove the screws. They are a little awkward. Be careful with these. If you over tighten them, you will damage what they screw into. And they're a little bit tricky to get out, but then it's not rocket science. You just sort of shake them out. A little bit of information there about the light functions, which you can do a bit of research yourself into. The DCC version and the DC version. So I assume this is a pamphlet for both types of set. However, you will notice that on the DC version, the lights do work backwards and forwards at the front and rear of the logo, but the actual cab interior lights are an option in DC. So it's one of the added little things you get with DCC, as well as all the sound and the realistic acceleration and deceleration, various information about suppression and support and all that kind of normal stuff. Right, let's move on to the next thing I want to talk to you about, and that's the coupling system on the back of these. Now, this is Hornby's uncoupling ramp system, code TT8013. You'll need one of these if need it, but this is very handy if you're going to be using the original coupling system. Now, you need to buy this separately and fit it yourself. So here's how we fit it. Now, you need a normal straight because you need this gap in the middle. That's where it is located. There are three main components. That's the main ramp itself, and there's a little clip that holds it all in place, and the uncoupling kind of push rod thing itself. Now, the ramp, it has these two little weights, which gravity pushes it back, drops it back down into place, and all you're really doing is sort of pushing it up underneath the mechanism. Okay, so that sits in the middle of there. You have this little, what's the best way of showing you this? Right, there's a little stop here. Can you see that? and that's where this little ramp thing stops against. Excuse the basic adjectives. This whole thing clips into place like so. I'll probably do this off camera. It's always easier off camera. It clips into place, and you see that moves backwards and forwards. You see it's a slightly angled kind of shape to the end of it, and underneath the ramp you'll see there's a corresponding or angled ramp, and basically as you push it forward it slides that up. As simple as that. These just clip in underneath the rails there, so we'll get those clipped in place, and you see that ramp gets pushed up. Again, I'll probably take it off camera to get it clipped properly. It takes a little bit of mucking about, actually. There we go. Ta-da! And you can see that little lever sticks out there. Now, this can be operated by the hand of God, or you can actually fit a little surface-mounted motor to it to do this. There's a video previously where I've done this with HM7000 and the HM6010 accessories controller. That's something for you to look up later. So as I said, you push it in, lifts up. Let's see one in operation. Now, first thing we'll do is use the loading ramp. It's not designed to go over it. I'm just being lazy. I'm putting it in the middle of the camera. Right, so let's roll one of the locos on. This is the unpowered car. It's easy to move for photography's sake. And one of the carriages. There we go. And we'll slide that in place. Boom, 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 like that. Get the ramp out of the way. And you'll notice that it didn't pull back because it didn't locate. And this is one of the issues you have with these, that unless they're sitting absolutely perfectly in the right central position, they are a bit awkward to make locate. So you have to sometimes sort of push them around till they're absolutely straight. Now this is, sometimes they work straight out of the box perfectly, sometimes they don't. It's just a little frustration. And as you can see, they operate perfectly fine, they locate and they hold. That's what you want from it. Now I'm going to use my thumb here to try and push that lever in to lift it up, and as you see, it doesn't automatically work. Now, there are plenty of occasions when they do work, but there's also plenty of occasions when they don't work. It's a bit hit and miss. Some people are perfectly happy with this stuff. Some people, like myself, get a little bit frustrated with it. I end up having to use two hands of God to make this operate how it's supposed to operate. So I end up holding one loco and the other and the carriage and pulling them apart, which is fine. It's just really time consuming when you're going to take all of your stock off. So is there an alternative? Well, yes, there is an alternative. And we'll have a little chat about that now. And it's the Hunt magnet couplings. These are a set specifically made for the Hornby TT120 HST set from the guys at West Hill Wagon Works. So let's pop along and have a look at their advert now, shall we? The TT120 HST couplings, designed specifically for the TT120 HSTs from West Hill Wagon Works. If you use the code PGTT120 at checkout when making an online purchase of TT120 products, you'll save 5%. Okay, so let's see how we fit them now. When you're removing the old couplings out of the NEM sockets, support the NEM socket with your thumb and thumbnail and then just firmly unclip them. But make sure you support that NEM socket. It's very delicate and it has that little centralizing spring. You see that there? You really don't want that pinging out. It is a real struggle to get back in to put the actual magnets in. Again, support the pocket, and they simply, let's get some light on this, clip in like that. You've got there's a pair here. I'll take them apart. And now these are actually two magnets stuck side by side. So they only go one way, which is very good when you want to try and keep all your stock in the correct orientation. Not that it matters so much with these coaches. I'll just reiterate at this point that you do not have to use these, just that lots of people will find them very useful. Particularly when you're putting your stock away, it makes it much more, it's a much quicker way of doing it. We'll load one of these up into one of the power cars, and we'll show you exactly how it works. It's pretty obvious really, but nothing quite like having a little bit of footage. So roll one of those down the ramp, and we shall take the carriage, put down the ramp. If I can get the wheels straight, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. It automatically clips together, and it's already located. So remove that. Oh, rear buggy wasn't straight. There we go. Let's try it again. Come on. Come on, cameraman. Get that straight. Right. Okay. Right. Whilst we're here, let's load the rest of the gang up. I think it works better when the ramp's not on top of the uncoupling ramp. There you go, straight away. Another carriage. Is there another carriage? No, it's the power car, isn't it? Of course. There we go. Boom. Let's get that loading ramp out of the way, and you see that any further work, they're all already linked up nicely. Okay. They're easy to be pulled apart. Now you still need a hand of God to take these apart, but then again, you're not going to be doing a lot of shunting with these locos. In fact, if any, really. So it's the main benefit of it, but I shall reiterate the point that you don't actually have to change these. It's just something that I find convenient, and lots of other people do too. Particularly if you see that at the end of a show, when the guys are all unpacking, it's amazing how many of them are now using these Hunt couplings, because it's just makes the whole thing so much easy and quick. And one more added bonus to these guys: they work really well when they're being pushed and pulled up a helix. A helix is for another day. Now then, what's next? I know what's next. We need to program. Now, an important thing in programming is don't do it with two locos on the track. It can be done, it's just a pain. Do it one at a time. You'll find yourself with a lot less little niggling glitches. Okay, so let's get into HM7000 programming. So the first thing we will do is click on Link Device. Then we're going to press Start Scan, and this screen appears. Now, if you click that link device straight away, then you get this warning saying scans in progress. So you have to wait to the scanning bar down below, stopping, finished, then you can click link device. It links the device, and now at this point, you should be all done and dusted, except this is unfortunately where I've found the glitches start happening. Sometimes this is because the decoder is a version that hasn't been updated yet. And sometimes, well, I don't know what some of the reasons are, but what we're going to do now is we're going to go through the whole process of loading it as if it's a brand new decoder straight out of the packet, because you've upgraded from DC to DCC, and we're going to go through the whole thing of how you load a profile up, or at least how I do it, how it works for me. So I'm going to click on yes for the profile, which then appears up here when it's done. Now, we're then going to scroll down to browse profiles. While the profiles load, there's quite an array now of these new sound files from Hornby, which are all free, and it's quite a fantastic range and getting bigger all the time. We're going to ignore the 00 stuff and go to the TT, not that it really matters because this isn't a Steam loco. Pick the Valenta version, not the MTU. The Valenta is the older engine, the MTU is the more modern era engine. Okay. Next, click on Install Locomotive Profile. This can take a little while. This is obviously speeded up. Sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes 5. I really don't know why. It might be broadband width, don't know. But anyway, next thing, yeah, click on again the locomotive profile detected, and then you'll get the green OK button, and then here, click on this, take your loco off. Next thing to do is import function map. You get the go ahead again, and then import running profile. This writes your CVs. Okay, again, slightly speed it up. Take a loco off to reset it again. Each time you do this reset, you have to make sure the Bluetooth sign is red, and then when you put it back on, it'll go blue, and then we can go and play with the loco. But you'll find at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to look at changing the volume down. Okay, so we're going to roll down, move this volume down. I have to put about 19, 20, because you've got 2 sound speakers, and if you've got 2 trains running around, it gets really loud. You can also change the acceleration rates and so on and so forth here. Now, I've forced an issue here, which is sometimes the CV's out of sync. See up there in yellow? So click on that again, and you will refresh your CVs, and everything will be lined up lovely. While we're here at the CV page, these are really quite easy to use. There's a manual online where you can actually find out more about this stuff. But I'll give you an example. We'll pick one of the lighting ones. So if we click on the lighting one, hit light and brightness, front lights, you can reduce the power of the lights. It's as simple as that. Press the exit button and you're done. They really are quite intuitive. Here's the function page, and then there's the data page. Now the data page is where you normally see your loco. You can put a loco image up there, which is no image set. I'll show you a link to that later on. But also something important here, you need to change the address because you do all your recording or your programming on 3. It's an historical thing, I don't know why. But I'm going to change mine to 125 to make it really simple. And you can only do numbers up to 9,999. Whilst we're here, we'll quickly look at Manage Device. If you click on that button, it takes you to the device page where, and we can scroll down. Now we can see that everything's correct, all the ticks are green, and it tells you what versions of the stuff is. If you ever want to sell your loco or remove the decoder, then you come down here and you unassign, and then you unlink and delete the device. But who would want to sell one of these TT120 locos? That's about as, none of that's particularly important for getting us going, and we've done enough talking now, so I think maybe we should just fire this up and have a bit of fun. Oh, one more thing you may have heard about, and that is power banks. Now, ignore the TMC packaging here. This is decoders. It's not decoders, it's a power bank. So there's an AE one from DCC Concepts, and there's the old Hornby one. These are both very helpful. You put them in the loco, and it helps with keeping Bluetooth connectivity, as well as keeping the loco running over blank frogs. There's your code you need for the DCC Concepts one, and we'll show you in a moment the Hornby one, once I get past showing off the packaging. It's rather large, and both of these will keep you Bluetooth connectivity for over a minute, which is not really needed. Both of these do fit the HST in the guard compartment. Here's the Hornby one, R7377. Now, this one has now actually been replaced by one that's half the size. It's kept the same code of R7377. I shall show you one of those in a moment. Now, not everyone needs these. Lots of people have no problem with their Bluetooth connectivity. But some of us do have problems with Bluetooth connectivity. I don't really know why. There you go, the same code on the smaller, so you can see it's much smaller. The thing is that these decoders have like a sort of a safety shut-off. And if they have any kind of slight fluctuation in voltage, either up or down, they turn themselves off. Then you have to go through the whole thing of turn them off and on again, and it becomes really boring. That's why we refit them. Now, in the HST, they fit in, these smaller ones now fit below the guard window, so you don't see them, so they make a perfect fit. Check my video out. Time to play. Here we go. Now, what if you want more? Well, you can get a first class and a restaurant car to turn this into a 6-car train, which is just a bit more fun. Those have a nice colour variation, but then you can go even further. You can get 2 first class, the restaurant, and there's 2 more of the second class. So here you have the full-length train running full chat.
Okay, so hopefully that wasn't either too simple for you or too complicated. It's hard to find the balance. Have a look at my other, go through my videos and have a look at some other things I've been working on. Hopefully there's be some answers there. You can go to my Facebook page and you can contact me via Messenger. I'll try and help you. All right, if I can, or I will steer you towards people who know more than me, who will probably help you better, and that's particularly on the forums and on, like I said, via the hub. Apart from that, I guess it's a happy new year. If anyone's watching this in the future, this is because this is my first video of January, and of January 2025. We've got a fantastic year ahead. There's so much coming out. There's so much going to be going on. If anybody wants to come and meet me in person, say hello, have a chat. I'm going to be at Doncaster with Camelot when I get it finished. We've got a bunch of teenagers painting buildings as we speak. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year. Enjoy your new HST set. Take care. Cheerio, bye. Oh, hang on. Sorry, Jim. Don't forget to like and subscribe. 6,000 of you watch it. 1,800 of you subscribe. It's free. Anyway, take care. Cheerio, bye.
And that is all there is to tell. I'll be on my way now, sir. I've got urgent business in the south. I have to meet a man at Marlborough Junction.